Somebody call a doctor because Bad Medicine is back. Over there is Diamond Dave Damone. This is the Appleton Oak. That's the answer. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we are diving back into Attack on Titan. This is episode 68 as it appears on Crunchyroll. And after the huge information dump we got on the last episode, I'm still wanting more answers after what we just saw.
Woo. Well, you know, RIP to Sasha, but I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to see where this story picks up.
Yeah, what a last few episodes we've had here. They cranked it up to 11. Can't wait to see what's next.
What else does AOT got for us?
A lot.
More heartbreak, I hope.
Yeah.
Let's go!
困ると思うけど聞いてほしいんだ。
How many times have I had to say that in my life?
あの時ならまだ何かを変えられたかもしれない。
Okay, so this
Here
was
we
the
go.
soldier, if I'm remembering right from the last episode, that set the trap.
先遣隊が上陸して2時間。音沙汰なしです。
第2第3調査隊に準備を急がせろ。世界を脅かす悪魔の島。その実態をマーレに持ち帰るのだ。
Oh boy, that doesn't look good. Ah,
Look at this guy.
he just picked up the whole boat.
So what you're saying is Titanic actually hit Eren.
Well,
Oh, that's a
Just-
hard landing.
Just right on shore.
マーレの皆さん、こんにちは。立っていらしたお客様をお迎えするものです。お客様とはすでに仲良しです。
Jesus.
Oh,
私に構わずこの悪魔どもを撃ってください。
お前の三文芝居に付き合う気はねえ。
マーレは汚れた血にかす耳など持ち合わせていない。汚れた連中と豚の小便をするような真似はしない。
ああ、いいのかな。
rude.
後ろの巨人が見えないのかな。
これがマーレの挨拶だ。
Oh.
they got him.
何の真似だイエレだ。
武器を捨てるんだ。ハンジさん、お招きいただき光栄です。お茶しましょう。
Wait a minute, that's how that happened?
会いたかったよ、エレン。
So they just decided to do that on their own?
So they must have had
What it
a...
looked like. That's what it looked like because Hanji was in shock there.
Yeah. So they didn't, Hanji and company didn't look like they
Willingly.
knew it was going to happen. Everybody was in shock. This one soldier's decided, yeah, I've had enough of this, and I'll join your side.
Well, and the other soldier too, who was holding dude at gunpoint
Right.
there.
Yep.
But that's how I took that right there. Maybe more, I doubt it, but at least we're kind of getting that backstory of how that soldier
Yeah.
is where they are now, which connects the dots to the previous episode of them talking about whatever they were talking about a little bit.
That they're dropping titans out of the sky in stone form.
The final season. Brave volunteers. Ah!
There we go.
あのでかい女、仲間を撃ち殺しやがったぞ。一体何が目的なんだ。
敵であれ味方であれ、信用できねえのは確かだ。
Sasha.
とてつもない幸運だよ。
まあ、本当に運が良かった。敵の上陸を阻止できたのは偶然だ。こんなもんじゃ済まねえ。なんとかしねえと。
おお。
Oh!
Jesus.
こうやって何発も撃てるわけか。
A bunch.
マーレ兵の基本装備です。1師団あたり約2万人で構成さ
Per
れ、
division.
総員50師団で約100万人になります。
1 million.
A million soldiers?
航空戦力にも力を注いでいます。
ビビってんじゃねえよ。舐められるだろうね。
わかってるって。
敵が空から現れる移動兵器のことです。
空から来るの？
もうすぐ夜が明け、 巨人が活動する頃ですよね。壁の外でのんびりお茶できるということは、島の巨人をすべて殺してしまったということでしょうか。
Uh-oh.
なんとかしてマーレに伝えるか。
Yeah, if they take out all the Titans, that stops.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Oh, gives Marley the green light.
期待以上だ。複数の国と戦争状態にあり、パラディ島どころではないというわけです。マーレが誇る戦士隊を打ち負かし、戦争の火蓋が切られたのです。
マーレ軍に潜入する諜報員のようなものなのかな。お、当たり
諜報などと呼べるような代物ではありません。兵士として徴用された我々は、
Yeah, that's
their
not gonna
motivation.
work.
Oh, yeah.
失われつつありました。導かれるまでは。私には全く別のものに見えた。神です。無力な私たちにジーク・イエーガーの命を受け上官を撃った反マーレ義勇兵です。全エルディア人の解放。
ジーク・イエーガーの要求は以上です。
そんなバカな話に乗るものか。相手は獣の巨人だぞ。
エルディア人の問題を一挙に解決する秘策があると。始祖の巨人と王家の血を引く巨人。その秘策を明かせるのは条件が揃ってからだ。
Of course.
I've got a plan. However,
I mean, these guys are completely fair in their thinking.
思い出したんです。始祖の巨人の力を発動させることができたのは、王家の血を引く巨人と接触した瞬間でした。父の妻であった。ダイナ・フリッツに違いありません。ダイナの息子であるジークは解明したのでしょう。我々エルディア人に残された唯一の希望を、巨人で世界を踏み潰す。
Ooh.
Millions.
どうして今までそんなことを黙っていやがった。ヒストリアの身を案じたからです。巨人にさせるわけにはいかないと。
Fair enough.
しかし、それが本当だとすると。
正気か。連中を信用する気か。何があるか知れないぞ。
全員縛り首にすべきだ。
dude just speaks up out of nowhere.
義勇兵の力が必要なのです。彼女らの無線通信がなければ。
Wireless radio because they don't know.
こちら第二次調査船だ。
ずっと助けを待ってた。
Ran aground.
安心しろ。2隻の調査船で向かっている。
Okay, so they put it back in
Yeah.
the water, so it didn't look like it was just sitting in the middle of the land.
Oh, shit.
Oh, well, we know who that is.
Not as big of an explosion that time.
汚れた悪魔の汚らわしい島へようこそ。
You're gonna love it.
世界から恐れられ、憎まれている。でも海の向こうにいる人たちは、世界はずっと複雑で。誰が僕らを作ったの？
始祖ユミルに力を与えた存在。神だよ。考えるだけなら自由だろ。
Yeah, we've got that whole story that they just briefly touched on.
That's a whole new concept to them.
なんだよこの料理。
Ooh, lobster.
食えんのか。嫌なら食うなよエルディア人。
Oh, it's meats!
汚ね食い方しやがって。
Crying.
Honey.
最初はお互い疑心暗鬼でうまくいかなかったよ。肩書きを抜きにして、きっと分かり合える。
It's quite a powerful statement right there.
巨人に化ける怪物だ。
They're not wrong.
I mean...
仲良くなれたマーレ人もいる。
ほとんどのマーレ兵は収容所の壁を睨みつけてんだろ。
時間をかければ、そう。
手出しできねえようにしてやるんだ。
Oh...
Of course they'd show it.
僕たちは正しかったのかな。別の道があったんじゃないかって。誰よりもエレンを理解しているつもりだった。でも、もうわからない。
おい！お前マーレ人だろ。マーレに殺されたエルディア人の墓地に。すいません。ここは。
大丈夫か？
Not our chef.
本当にサシャは死んだのか。飛行船に乗り込んできた子供に撃たれたって。俺の油断があった。すまない。俺はただ飯を用意してただけだ。
Food she loved.
うまいもんいっぱい食わしてくれてありがとな。俺とサシャは双子みてえなもんだった。自分が半分なくなっちまったみてえだ。
娘が世話になったようやね。
Pops is there.
料理人として就労許可を持っています。誰よりもうまそうに食べてくれました。俺の料理を食べに来てください。
もちろんただなんやろ。
はい。
Honorable. Nice.
恐ろしいね。何も知らないってのは。
お前を殺して死体をマーレに送りつけ、祖父祖母の命はないだろうな。切り刻むのを少し待ってる。
俺をエレンと合わせるのが先だろ。
お前に最上級のホテルを用意したんだ。
なあ、睨むのやめてくれないか。
巨人化の薬はこれで全てです。複製は困難でしょう。
これだけあれば十分であろう。無知な我々を希望へと導いてくれた。
Maybe came around.
虫のいい話ですまんが、ジークに枷をかけぬわけにはいかんのだ。
すぐにまた我々と食卓を囲む日が来ますから。
俺のホテル。
I don't know who to trust anymore.
これ以上お前にふさわしい宿はねえよ。
この雄大な自然を見せてやりたいんだが。
ガキが雄大な自然を拝めるかどうかは。
Oh, Gabby, you... Gabby's got to park the rage.
とにかく、大勢の人間を殺したあの日の君たちのように。ねえ。
Oh, there's Annie.
Oh.
戦わなければ勝てない。戦え。戦
え。Oh, man. What an episode.
Here we go. I know they're giving us some information, but I'm still skeptical on who and what to believe. As you guys know, this show has so many different angles going on, so many different subplots going on. On one end, I can see what Zeke is proposing as making sense, but on the other hand, the generals there, whatever, they were totally in their right to be dismissive of it and not believe it. Now, it looks like as the time went on, they all grew to kind of go with the plan. But I'm just still skeptical of Zeke and what his ultimate goal is. For as many soldiers as they said that they have to take on Eren and company, there's millions of Titans inside the walls, so if they find a way to wake those up, it's pretty much game over for everybody, even though they're not the most advanced Titans. We've seen what even the run-of-the-mill Titans can do, so that's very interesting from a standpoint of, are we going to see that happen? All the Titans within the walls get woken up. It looks like Armin is having some real guilt issues with what he had to do being the Colossal Titan, and look, Eren came to grips with it. He's totally accepting on what has to be done one way or the other, but with Armin, I still think that weighs pretty heavy on him with what he had to do, and obviously we see him talking to Annie there. I don't know if Annie can hear anything, if Annie's in a coma type state. I don't recall if we've been told what she's like. I don't know how they could even know. They can't penetrate anything in the crystal. They can't put an EKG or something on her to know what the story is. So that's interesting. And man, this is interesting that we get all this backstory about these soldiers who decided to turn because they were forced to fight. They didn't want to, and just willingly surprised everybody by saying, hey, well, hold on, we'll take out our captain and we'll join you and give you all the information you want. Fun seeing Sasha there briefly enjoying the lobster. I mean, hey, I like butter too, but I'm not gonna eat a bug, so that's just me. But no, it's good to see Sasha had fun with that little bit of a flashback. Of course, we got the levity with seeing that, but then we go all the way back to the graveyard and everything that had to happen there. It seemed like her dad was about as understanding as you can be. And Nicola is, has some guilt too, because the one thing he had to offer was being a great chef, and she appreciated that. So pretty heavy duty episode. I still don't know who I should believe or where I should stand on things. So that's why there's like 20-ish more episodes to go.
What I really loved is the part with Onion Capone.
Nice work.
If I said that correctly, was how we failed to realize too, being on this island and stuff like that, they've never met anyone of color or anything. So I thought that was really cool, them asking him about you know, his color of his skin and like how they could interact with that, because they've been living the sheltered life. They have no, you know,
They didn't even know there was an ocean.
Let alone they didn't even know a sea.
Yeah,
so
I
like
mean,
so that was a pretty cool moment that they threw that in there as well.
Yeah, if it was the first time that you know, we've like, not to go on a history thing, but you've seen, you know, even you know, tribes that have lived on, you know, different places across the globe, seeing you know, a white person for the first time, or the flip side of that, you know, where it's like, man, like that's got to be a little bit of, I don't know if culture shock is the right term, but very interesting. Yes, the people on the island pretty sheltered.
Yeah, so 3 years in the making for Yelena to, under Zeke's order, you know, take out the captain and then, you know, push the plan through from there. And yeah, they're all skeptical. I mean, even to the point where they're in the office of how do you say the colonel's name, Pixis? And they're all weaponry all pointed at him because they still don't trust him. And he's even saying, I know we're getting a little better and we're ignorant and this and that, and they never stopped them from putting their weapons down. They kept them on them. And I mean, Yelena just seemed fine with it. The other guys are like this the whole way. So the tension then in that carriage ride between Levi and Zeke was wow, especially to the point where he's like, can you stop glaring at me? But you know, Levi does not want to take his eyes off him when he can't, but putting him in the forest. And then he said he wanted to show the forest to Gabby and Falco, and they then show Gabby is just, she is on edge, and she just keeps saying two words, Eren and Jaeger. And so like she is just laser focused. Like you brought up how Eren was in the beginning, how he wanted to take out all the Titans until, well, we know now what all happened there. And like, I know that their big plan is that, but you know, to possibly attack the walls, but there's millions of Titans in there. So but I'm wondering, well, I suppose with the founding Titan, maybe that's what the plan is. Well, I could put that as my thing, is that if he has the founding Titan and now he's got the royal blood, can he now control all those Titans in that wall?
Because we saw him yell in that one episode and basically got all the Titans to stand down.
And that was when that was after his interaction with it turned out to be Dina. So that where we found out that, you know, that's Zeke that must be his mother. So that was pretty cool to see that all transpire in front of our eyes. But yeah, another really, really solid episode, and can't wait for more. But it was really nice to see Sasha and enjoy her tasty meats one more time before you know, they put a bow on that.
Do you not eat lobster?
Oh, it's bugs. Yuck. Gross. They used to feed that to prisoners. It's disgusting.
This guy.
If there was a lobster walking on the ground in the forest, did you think, hey, that looks good, I'll eat that? Anyway,
was it a forest?
The forest.
Well, a deer walks by, you think that looks delicious?
Yeah. In any regard, I mean, one of the most interesting part of this whole episode for me was when they talked about why the Marleyans hadn't attacked the island. Like, hey, look, we sent the Titans here, you know, but at the same time they would hamper, if we can even use that term, seems a little bit underwhelming, a ground invasion. Big time. And so it's really curious looking back at all the Scout Regiments and the military police and everything they've done to combat the Titans, but at the same time, that's what's been keeping them safe essentially from the Marleyans. And now you have a situation where, as the ODM gear is advancing, their battle tactics are advancing, military technology is advancing and allowing them to better battle the Titans, they're also weakening a big portion of the defense they have against the Marleyans. Now we also find out, you know, that millions of Titans in the walls. I mean, that's a lot.
Yep.
So, of course, my curiosity then goes to, well, if they were to find a way to just break the exterior wall and awaken the Titans and let them out, again, that's going to keep the Marleyans at bay, but it keeps you behind the walls unless you have a Titan who can control all the Titans running around. So again, I've said it before, lots of layers. This one, a huge information dump. You know, interesting that the Marleyans are fighting multiple battles on multiple fronts.
That never goes well.
That doesn't go well. World War II, multiple battles on multiple fronts, arguably the downfall of the Germans in that war. But yeah, another huge information dump, some twists and turns I wasn't ready for. I agree with Mason Quinn. Look, if I'm some of the higher ups, am I going to be out there trusting the Beast Titan, knowing what he did to some of our forces? I mean, you remember the episode where he's crushing the rocks and just tossing them. I mean, he took out everything. Now this is the guy who's saying, but it's okay, I have a plan. And then even more convoluted, I have a plan, but I'm not going to tell you until this or that or that or this. Like, oh, that's an interesting trick. And look, I get it. Like, you tell the plan, then they have the information. They can maybe try to execute it without you. But at the same time, like, nah, there's a lot going on here.
And the clock is ticking on Zeke, too.
Yeah, 3 years, and that's it.
So you guys know who Zeke's brother is, right?
It was half brothers, Eren.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. They do know.
Yeah. I was like, where are you going?
I was like, where's Diamond Dave going with this? Yes, Eren's father and Zeke, same father,
different mothers. Yeah.
Half brothers. We've known this for
they revealed that a while
I see
back.
what you're doing here.
I see where you're going.
I was like, wait a minute.
Answering some comments for
guys,
Patreon,
you guys
YouTube.
give me shades of like that exam in high school that you think you know the answer to, and you're like, it's D, it's right, it's D, right?
Well, people,
no, it's C.
some people asked. I figure, at least give you guys the opportunity to respond to those questions. So, I know Quinn's using the term of information dump, but I think some of you have even said it too, that the information is just now constantly rolling, which is great. I mean, the two reasons that she gave us was amazing. I mean, you could probably, now going back, it's like, oh, now that we know what we know, now everything makes sense then. But hearing the exact reasons, for now, until maybe more comes out, but hearing the exact reasons for like, oh, we wanted to keep you there, and also that was the first line of our defense, and then the other reason why is, like you were saying, Dave, they're taking on multiple countries. So that's why they haven't come to the island. So now, again, 3 years prior to what we just saw, Eren and crew, that kind of makes more sense now, too, of why Eren was like probably thinking this is the times now to go and do what he just did. At least that's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, because he totally believes Zeke. He's all in on his plan.
That's definitely the vibe I got right there, because Hanji even backed it. And then Levi, as he was talking to Zeke in the chariot there, he was basically saying, either way works for me. So whatever you're going to do, Zeke, you're mine regardless. And then hearing Eren in the past 3 years, in the flashback, I'll just call it for now, for lack of better terms, he's saying, oh, well, Zeke has less than 3 years. That's where we're at now. So now we know, I know Zeke said it earlier in season 4, like, hey, I basically got this amount of time, but now hearing Eren say it again, it's a nice refresher of like, oh yeah, Zeke doesn't have much time at all. So what is really going on here? And then hearing the plan, look, folks, call me an idiot because the answer was that they've given us so far right there. I don't know if I can trust Zeke. I really don't know who to trust outside of Mikasa, Armin, and Levi at this point. Because
Eren is still a wild card.
Eren is now officially a wild card. I don't
What
trust
about
Zeke.
Hanji?
Hanji I'll trust too. Hanji I'll trust
get Hanji
because
in there.
she's very she's been blatantly honest, but obviously she just did a skit right there, right? So even that was bad lying.
Well, shitty.
That dialogue right there when they came up was pretty good.
Well, and it's just funny. Levi is like unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
But he's funny, which is great.
Just that dry humor.
Just the dry humor, and his delivery is fantastic.
Welcome to the shitty.
And again, I know I'm forgetting stuff in this episode, but so much was going on in here. We're basically in the end game for Zeke, essentially. The whole millions of Titans in the wall, that is crazy to hear. We knew Titans were in the wall.
Yeah, we
but
suspected that. pretty early on, and then we got confirmation.
Right. So because the one face that we saw on the wall, right? And then that's when you, I think, had the prediction of, well, they have to be in the wall. And then eventually that answer came to, oh, yep, they're in the wall. But I don't recall then from when we got that answer to now. And again, first time watch, you probably forgot something in there. But this, hearing millions, that's a
I mean, well, you think about the size of the wall.
Well, yeah, the walls that they got expand.
Yeah,
from small
I mean, that's
to
a
big.
lot.
So, and there's a couple of them. So, again,
it took a lot from Eren to cover the hole when he did the hardening in the hole.
Yeah, that too. And I can't wait to see what's going to be next. Oh, and then the anti-Marlin volunteers. Those two leading the charge because they were taken from their homes and forced to be soldiers. And then when they see Zeke, got a little hope. And then they finally had an opportunity right there. And that's how that became here. But, man, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next one. Because, and Armin talking to Annie.
Yeah.
Like,
go figure.
Holy
been a minute
shit.
since we've seen Annie. I think we just mentioned that a few episodes. Like, we haven't heard anything from Annie lately.
And we've been kind of dropping Annie's name here and there, but holy shit, I can't believe Armin is. I have a feeling that's going to come back to haunt him in some way.
Oh, but what he did for sure. I mean,
let's not forget,
Give him the
the last couple episodes we're talking about all these Titans and the powers they have and anything. And Annie's like Jean-Claude Van Damme Titan. Just out there kicking ass.
Doing
so
roundhouse kicks.
And she's got some
hardening.
armor too.
Because remember, she was the first one doing the nape.
First one on the nape that we saw.
I mean, I got to say, if I'm at this point, I'm Team Levi and Team the Generals who are skeptical of Zeke's plan. Because let's look at it. Zeke came, tried to kill everybody, was throwing those baseballs full of rocks, wiping everybody out, got his ass kicked. Now he's got this whole song and dance about how, oh, no, wait, guys, I got a plan. If you help me, I've got a plan to fix everything. Like, that's what a guy who's about to lose would say.
Well, is he really for peace? That's what I keep questioning. Is he really for peace?
That's the thing. Is he truly for peace? I don't think he is. I think he's just at the end of his rope and he's grasping at straws.
I can't remember who said it, but they made a good point. If we do all this, then we still just end up still looking like the devils and doing everything the wrong way, and not everyone's going to come for us because we did this.
Right. So why not do the Levi thing? Take out Zeke. He's done for. Eventually go back, take out the remaining Titans that are still over there. And then you at least don't have a threat from them and their weekend. So,
well, I'm sure the other Titans would just spawn up.
Well, because you have
like
the other.
Folks were saying, that's
but
from you.
But you got to figure you got to wait a couple of years before they know their Titan abilities.
Right, and they're trying to fight the other countries. So who knows? Maybe by then they're totally taken over. Because otherwise, Paradise. I know it's not how you say it, but it's what it looks like.
Fritz
Paradis. So now they would just be on their own island doing their own thing. They would have Titan abilities to protect them.
Well, it depends on if the young ones are still getting taught the same history. Because look at Gabby. Gabby's prime example. It's like almost in her DNA now.
Gabby might have to look at the flowers. Who knows?
Carol reference.
Oh, there you go. Another great, amazing episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it because we did. So for Diamond Dave, Appleton Oak, that's Mason Quinn. Of course, the answer. We'll catch you on the next one, pals.
Oh, look at Eren here.
何してるの？鏡に向かって話しかけてたの？戦え、戦え。戦え、戦えって。何と戦うの？2回戦があるのかな？
She's very analytical.
Just ribbing him.
黙ってちゃわからないよ。私は鏡に映る自分に話しかけたりしたことがないからさ。かっこいいと思うよ、私は。ちょっと乱れてる感じなんか。
She's just all over the map.
Carefree.
何しに来たんですか？
何って巨人について語り明かしたじゃないか。私の一方的な話を、ヒストリアを犠牲にすることはないって。
Wow. Shall see.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what if Levi just is like, I made a call. I took out Zeke. I know that wouldn't end it.
The last the last 20 episodes are just dead air.
Yeah, it's nothing. See, they got these. Where is it? It looks like Titans falling from the sky.
Well, we did have that in episode 1. 4x1.
Yeah. I suppose they're just doing it without color, so I was thinking maybe they're like going to turn everything to stone or something.
There's the blimp.
Yep.
エレン、船ごと担ぎ上げられて以来ですね。これからよろしくお願いします。
今後もお前らとの接触はない。
それで十分です。今日はめでたい日になる。初めて外国の要人を迎えるのだから、パラディ島唯一の友好国、ヒーズル国、清宮東人。
What?
Soul friendly nation?
この家紋に見覚えはございませんか？
これは
見せるんだ、ミカサ。その秘密はきっとこの日のためだ。さあ。
死んだ母の一族から受け継いできたものです。
なんとけなげなことでしょう。
Oh, this is cool. Shogun!
我が将軍家子息はフリッツ王家と婚姻にしており、ヒーズル国は敗戦国として立場を追われ、この島に取り残されたのです。あなたは我々が失った一国の主の末、ヒーズル国の希望です。
Yeah, because they said Mikasa was incredibly rare when those dudes broke into the cabin before they were taken out.
とにかくヒーズルが利用できるなら何でもするんだ。やはりイエレナたちの意見を聞くしか。それこそ奴らの思うツボだろう。よちよち歩きを始めた赤ん坊に過ぎん。
その印、なんでエレンだけに見せたの？
なんか嬉しそうだな。
重い荷物を背負う者同士なんでしょ？
本日は両国にとって歴史的な日です。ジーク・イエーガーの存在が不可欠でした。ミカサ様への取り次ぎを条件に報告させていただきます。
まずはこちらをご覧ください。パラディ島で開発された巨人を殺す兵器です。この兵器を動かすにはある特殊な燃料が必要です。
ジーク・イエーガーは自分の計画に協力するなら返り咲くほどの産業を手にするでしょうと。
私は出汁に使われただけでは。
東人は金の匂いに鋭いから交渉はうまくいくっていう。
ジーク・イエーガーとの取り計らいとは一体何でしょうか？
ジーク・イエーガーは秘策があると主張し、
Secret plan
in his mind.
この島を守るために必要な3つの過程です。地ならしの実験的活用、世界に破壊力を見せつけるのです。
That would.
および王家の血を引く巨人、両者の継続的な維持。ジークは獣の巨人を王家の血を引く者へと継承。可能な限り子を増やすこと。
地ならしは強力な兵器だ。何世代にもわたり、継承は繰り返されていく。未来の子孫たちに残していいのか？
Good question.
しかし。
わかりました。獣の巨人の継承を受け入れます。
Oh, wow.
地ならしが我々の存続に不可欠である以上は。
Wow. Wasn't expecting her to just jump at it.
No, this whole thing I'm still skeptical of.
家畜みてえに子供を産まされ殺されて、と生きることが許されるっていうのなら、ジーク・イエーガーの計画は到底受け入れられません。
Now you're talking some sense.
地ならしの維持に我々の命運を委ねるのは危険です。我々の取るべき最善策ではないでしょうか。
君と焦燥感を共にしたつもりだった。この島を危機に追い込んだのかがわからない。
俺は潜水の巨人を食いました。地面から自在に硬質化を操り。どれだけ深く固い地下に俺を幽閉しても無駄だってことです。当然思想を持つ俺を殺すこともできない。あなたに何ができるって言うんですか？
Oh my god, Eren.
他のやり方があったら教えてくださいよ。
エレンのエッチ、若者。
Holy shit, Eren.
Wow, didn't expect that.
He's not trusting anybody either.
あんたの唯一の失策だ。なんで私なんか団長にしたんだよ。
Oh. That got intense.
中に入ろう。ヒストリア、もっと体をいたわらないと。
What? What is going on?
You can't do that and then give us this card?
ガキをおこしらえ遊ばされるただ。
やめろ。
女王には相手を選ぶ権利がある。なぜ今身勝手な行為に及んだのかだ。女王が妊娠してジークは命拾いしたんだぞ。身をもだろうと巨人にしちまえば。何より女王の身に何かあればおしまいだ。もう一本持ってこい、マネージ。
かしこまりました。
ニコラ、
おすすめはこいつだろ。
So it's clearly poisoned, right? Is that what I'm led to believe?
これなら体も鍛えられるし、島の開発も進むって。
回答を待つしかないからな。
ヒーズルを介して世界との対話を図る。
図体ばかりでかくなりやがって。
たった今、アズマ人から返事が来た。ヒーゼル国は取り付く島もないようだ。パラディ島が災いの種であり続けることを望んでいる。
俺たちは地ならしに頼るしかなくて。
Oh boy。
そうなる。
どうしてみんなが平和になる道を考えられないんだ。それは、わからないからだと思う。わからないから恐れている。
そうだ。わからないものがあれば、理解しに行けばいい。
That's a little risky.
It is.
マーレに拠点を設けて潜入か。
そんなこと考えてたんですね。
本場のマーレ料理に舌包み。
俺何持っていこう。
僕たちが平和を望んでいることを世界が知れば。
もう少し時間があればな。俺の巨人の継承者を。
私が引き継ぐ。
お前じゃダメだろ。アッカーマン家が何なのかまだ分かってねえんだ。
じゃあ他に誰が。
俺だ。立ち狂って死に急ぐようなこともなく。
すげえやつを13年でミス死なすわけにいかねえだろ。エレンの巨人は俺が継ぐから。コニ
ー。よくないですよ。じゃなくて。
Don't end me.
ビューティー
Is he Canadian?
It's a beauty.
消去法で私しかいないじゃないですか。セレレンよ。セレレンじゃけどね。
それはおかしいだろ。
え？
いや、だから、バカには任せられないって。
ん？
お前は俺よりもバカなんだから。俺はお前らに継承させるつもりはない。お前らが大事だからだ。長生きしてほしい。
That's fair.
何赤くなったんだ。どうすんだよこの空気をよ。
じゃあ夕日のせいだよ。
夕日なら仕方ね
えよ。なあ、お前らにはあれがエレンに見えたか。腹違いの兄貴の方につくことがあるなら、奴を切る覚悟をしておく必要がある。
そんなことさせない。
Oh.
そんなことにはならないと思う。エレンは誰よりも私たちを思っている。
かつてのあいつはいくらお前が強くても、だがアルミンに軍港を破壊させ、あいつが大事だと言った俺も。
それは私たちが信頼されてる。
Best for the job.
サシャが死んだ時エレンはどうしたと思う？悔しがったと思うか？
ゴニー、よせ。
笑いやがった。サシャが死んだことのどこが。
He was thinking about the meats.
Yeah.
エレンのことは何でもわかるんだろう。
エレンと話そう。僕とミカサと3人だけで。
もしジークと同じ目的だったら。
巨人化の薬を入手した兵団には他の誰かを巨人にしてエレンの始祖を継承する選択だ。
Interesting.
Come on.
The good news is that everybody is just as confused as I am, so that's fantastic. Nobody knows who to trust. Now we're all starting to doubt each other. This is just fantastic. I mean, what an episode. We had multiple flashbacks, and so we're getting a little bit of backstory onto some things that happened. But I just, like I said, they're all kind of feeling, I think, the same thing we are. Can we trust Zeke? Now can we trust Eren? Why was he laughing? Well, we know why he was laughing with Sasha because of the memories, but they don't know that. So now everything's getting convoluted. We see the government officials, they're not very trusting. They don't know what to do. We saw the deal with the other country that they were friendly with, which, yeah, by the way, they're friendly with another country. I might need some help on that one, folks. I don't recall that ever being mentioned, that they had another country that they were working with. And we get the big reveal that Mikasa is of royal blood for that country, Hizurus or something like that it was called. I just saw it pop up on the screen. So she's royal for that, so that puts a whole new spin on things. However, so far to this point, it turned out to all be for naught because they're not going to work with our crew anyways. So we'll see how long that lasts. I'm sure that's not the end of it. There's going to be more. But this episode, I think more than any of them in season 4, to me, was the one that sowed a lot of doubts for just about every possible path that was out there. And it's truly a case of we don't know what to do. And I feel the same way as the characters here in this episode. This one was pretty out there, a little confusing, and sometimes we had a number of flashbacks that you had to kind of keep up with. But yeah, this is the episode, I think, that, for me anyway, let the audience know, like, yeah, we're confused too. We don't know who to trust either.
Yeah, they did the flashback of 2 and 3 years ago and stuff like that, and so that really like played around with the timeline. Like we saw, we saw the tattoo, I guess you could call, or the marking that Mikasa has, that she's the last remaining from their shogun, which that was pretty cool to see. And then right at the end, they go to a to be continued on Zeke just sipping his tea or coffee, and it's like, oh no, what are they planning? Because we saw that when they first hatched the plan that they were getting from Zeke, Eren was, nope, not gonna do it all, not gonna do it. He's sitting there reading his book and drinking his coffee, and Eren was like, nope, not gonna do it. So now, just like us, they're wondering, well, what changed? He's so adamant about not doing the plan. And now we fast forward, we see that Historia is pregnant, and we didn't really get a
yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah,
but she's pregnant, and so like they're not sure about because I'm sure I don't know how much information they'd have on that as far as people that can turn into Titans when they're pregnant, like what happens to them / the baby in there.
Yeah, they said it was a risk, and that was
so like that's all we knew, and so they were trying to protect her, and then we didn't even see who the father was, but we saw that they used to do the old rock throwing to try and get their attention, and apparently it didn't work as kids, but he came around and helped her out when she was at the orphanage. But another really good episode when it gets with that, and like him becoming unhinged at Hanji in the prison scene was wow, because like usually he's never been like that. And they even show that he didn't want to pass down his Titan traits to the rest of his, his close-knit group because, he cares about them so much, but then he puts them in harm's way. And I get your point. It's because he trusts them. He can rely on them.
He knew they could do it.
He knows that they'll come through in the end. They're the main characters. And but that's why he did that. But I also get their point, like, why is he doing this? Why is he putting us in this situation if he loves us? Like Connie, and I get Connie's point, but at the same time, he's laughing because of her reaction to the meats, but he obviously,
because that was her last word.
Yep. And you have different expressions for when things like that happen. Some can go to memories of laughter, sadness, all over the map. It's just where you are in that moment. And he went back to her going nuts over the tasty meats. And then when we saw, was it this last episode where she was eating the lobster and she was going nuts for the tasty meats. She's just a food connoisseur. So you gotta really like that.
Yeah, they just did so much in this episode that leaves that changes the story and leaves questions to be answered. This one's out there.
And were you still on that trustworthy Zeke yet? What are you on the trust scale?
I still don't trust
still
him.
all the way down to 0?
I don't trust him at all.
Yeah, the way it ended, I didn't like it.
Yeah, there's so much going on here. You know, we've got a bunch of people that have got I shouldn't say a bunch of people, but you know, Zeke's got this plan, and these people are trying to figure out what's going on, what's going to be the best plan of action for, you know, defending the island. And then we got people coming in from this other place. They want to have a Titan of royal blood. You know, I mean, there's all sorts of, all sorts of interesting stuff going on. Eren's debating on who he wants to pass his Titan on to. They're arguing over that.
Which brought levity.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of different stuff going on, and they're bouncing around a lot. This one I found a little bit hard to follow.
Yeah, same.
This is one of the times, and I'm probably gonna get lit up for this one.
I'm sure we already are.
This is one of the times where I kind of would have liked to have watched it in just dubbed over. And not that I can't read, but when you're reading and watching, and I know people have, plenty of people have done it successfully. I just, it's like I'm trying to do a couple of separate things. But yeah, I mean, they're bouncing around to different times, different plots, bringing in new people. So it was a little bit hard for me to kind of keep up with everything that's going on. But look, we've had episodes like this before where it's just a giant information dump. This is one that I'll probably go back and watch again, even before we move on to the next one, just so I can try to have a little bit better understanding. But as we've said before, with reactions to a lot of these shows and movies, I'm sure you guys have caught it. If you watch anything other than Attack on Titan, we come into these reviews fresh off the episode, just so you're getting like a raw reaction. There's not a sit down, discuss it, re-go over the information
on a whiteboard.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we'll pull a few things up while we're going through these. Yeah. But this one, it did throw me off a little. But I'm sure as we move forward, it's just it feels like we're back in season 1 or 2, where I'm like, we're just getting more questions. Yeah. And of course, as this show progresses, answers are delivered. But yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah, this is an interesting episode. Like of course, bullet point 3 for Zeke's terms is for him to pass down his Beast Titan, and then it was something about the Eren basically. Yeah, so Zeke will pass down the Beast Titan, which obviously has the royal blood, and that person will have the 13 years to live, right? And then bearing as many children as possible. Like, that is just wild to me, and I kind of felt like Eren there a little bit. Like, no, we're not doing this. Why would we?
Why are we bending to Zeke's demands so hard?
Well, no one is bending.
I know, but I get like. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It just
you're good. But yeah, so with Zeke's, again, I can't trust anything the guy is saying right now. Again, you know more than we do. So I don't know if you remember your first time, if you were in the same spot of like, man, I don't know what Zeke's true intentions are right now, because I feel like he's playing both sides of his mouth. Maybe there's really good intentions there, and he really does want peace. I don't know. Right now, it just kind of doesn't feel that way to me. And then kind of going back to this lady boss here, I forgot her. Forgot her name already.
Kiyomi or something, I think it was.
Yeah, when they were discussing certain moments with the ice, like if we get the ice, then we can make money essentially. And then it cuts to her licking her lips, and then Mikasa saying, "Well, they're money grubbers
for the ODM gear."
Yeah, and then General was saying, "Well, of course somebody would be doing something." I'm paraphrasing, of course, here, folks. Basically, somebody would be doing something if money was involved.
Right.
So there's ulterior motives on everyone's part here that it's just making it hard to trust. Again, I'll repeat myself. I only trust Mikasa, Hanji, and Levi, and Armin, for the most part, because they're the ones who are really true to their colors so far. Eren, he's just. I mean, he picked up Hanji here and basically brought her face to a bar, which was uncalled for. So now he's too much of a wild card.
But to that point, Mikasa said she wouldn't take Eren down even if he was doing something bad. So can you totally trust
Well, that's
Mikasa?
right now because of with their friendship, right? She's going on emotion with that. At least that's how I'm taking it.
Yeah.
But again, right, and I'm not saying, well, I said a couple episodes ago or a couple reviews ago, Eren, to me right there too, he's turned fully heel. Like there's no tweener now for
You think he's
Eren.
full heel?
Well, to me, he's full heel because what we've been seeing so far, he basically said, "Screw it, I'm gonna take casualties." I don't, kind of. I mean, we lost kids, we lost a lot of innocent bystanders during that part of what they did, which again was to me full circle of episode 1 of when Colossal appeared, and we lost so many people there too. Man, this was a lot to digest in this episode in particular. Attack on Titan's been really good at these to be continued cliffhangers, right? But that scene I wish had a little bit more context. I know you know, but it just ending with that right there. I mean, don't get me wrong, of course I'm curious, but it was just like, can I have a little bit more context of why we're ending it right there when I feel like we could have went before that and ended it right there. But I get it. We got to, for weekly episodic episodes, got to have it interesting, got to get you on that cliffhanger. I can't wait to see more because, again, there are just, and I know you've been through it, slapping us around with information. And I think I saw somebody say on Patreon with zero spoilers that, hey, you just got slapped with like 5 different plots in 5 minutes on like an episode 2 ago. But that's kind of what it feels like here because the review with Mikasa with the symbol, and then just the whole thing with Shogun, and then so on and so forth. Yeah. So much is coming at us right now.
Yeah, for me personally, I thought this was the weakest episode of the entire season 4 that we've done so far. And I'll tell you why. It's because it was the, oh, by the way, reveals. Oh, by the way, Mikasa's royal blood. Oh, by the way, she has this tattoo that she's kept under a wrap for like 17 years that nobody's ever seen. Oh, by the way, there's another island that Paradise has been trading with and is working with. And oh, by the way, Zeke gave him the ODM gear. And oh, by the way, this. And oh, by the way, that. And the flashbacks got real messy. Obviously, you guys know I love Attack on Titan. These guys love it as well. For me, just me, Mason Quinn, I felt this episode was the weakest of the season, and I didn't like it. I didn't like how the information was delivered, and all it got very messy for me. And again, first time watch, subtitles being what they are, that's my only complaint, if I could be so blunt, with this episode. I mean, I liked it. I like where it's going, but it felt very messy, and I didn't like the oh, by the way stuff.
No. Opinions vary.
Opinions vary. So we'll see how that goes.
But hey,
you know?
Don't worry, guys. He still loves
I'm
the
still
show.
on board. Yeah,
he still
absolutely.
loves it overall. So
yeah, like when they were building the railroad tracks, I was like, what are we doing here? When did this happen? You know, and it was a little messy for me.
Well, it was showing how big they were getting because Levi was like, look at you guys, looking jacked. Looking jacked.
Man.
So, all right, so.
Anybody else?
No, I'm rewatching now in English because I'm trying to take in some more information, especially about hysteria right here.
We're gonna rewatch.
Yeah, we're all up for it, but we love you guys. Hope you guys are having just as much fun as we are. So for Diamond Dave Appleton Oak, that's Mason Quinn. I'm of course the answer. We'll catch you on the next one, pals.